Hey, guys.
It's just fun every time I hear it.
It is a lot of fun. What is that, Dan?
It's the Red Rock Hot Club playing us some gypsy jazz.
That's awesome. And they let us use that, so that's really nice of them. Well, welcome to episode 2 of Thank God I'm Atheist.
Apparently we're episodic.
We're episodic. Did we introduce ourselves? I'm Frank.
And I'm Dan.
Hi.
Hi.
Some business.
Oh, business.
Just at the top, we want to mention, of course, that you can follow us on Twitter, which is a new feature.
We twit now?
We do. It's at TGI Atheist.
TGI Atheist.
TGI Atheist.
It's like if you were that on a Friday, then you'd be a restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, you can follow the blog at thankgodimatheist.com, which we need it. We need to get some stuff up there.
Yeah.
There's stuff there. There's plenty of back material.
There's
if you
great
want to go
stuff.
back and read it.
I can't tell you how popular that the thing that I wrote about swearing is.
Yeah?
I have a whole thing about swearing.
Yeah?
Really big.
Oh.
Went huge.
How did I not read that?
Oh, I don't know. You should read it.
Did it go all over the internet?
Oh, the whole interweb just blew up.
Just alive?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Because I like the swears. I'm pro swearing.
Well, I'm very happy because it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
Yeah. So this is, I guess, our Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah.
Let's kill us some turkeys.
Well,
okay. You're a vegetarian, but
yeah.
I'm going to kill me some
You're going to
turkey.
kill some turkeys. Well, truth be told, I'm going to kill turkey too.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, we had this talk last.
Cheating.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing is my parents, they're okay. So my parents are really Mormon. They're really conservative. They're all of that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I'm just like, okay, I'm not Mormon anymore. Beyond not being Mormon, I'm atheist.
Wait, you're what?
I know. I'm a Democrat and a fairly liberal one at that. And I'm gay.
You have the queer.
I have the queer, and I'm also a vegetarian. Well, they're aware of the first three, and I'm absolutely convinced that the fourth will kill them. So come Thanksgiving tomorrow.
Haven't you done enough to these poor people?
These poor people. Well, they're also meeting my friends tomorrow, which is going to be
fine.
Yeah, they don't live in state, so they're going to be in town, and I'm like, well, you know what? They're going to get the full brunt of.
I'm sure everyone will be delightful.
Oh, well, yeah, no, I'm not saying people won't be. I'm saying them just being themselves will be enough for my parents.
Yeah, that's true.
So, anywho, so tomorrow, not going to be.
No, it's going to be great. It's going to be vegetarian though. Yeah.
I mean, I could be surreptitious about my vegetarianism, I'm sure, and just not really. But I won't ask what's in stuff.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah.
In this case, just give thanks for what you've got.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And of course, in the theme of being Thanksgiving,
giving thanks.
Yeah, I came across this article in the Desert News.
Oh.
It's hard to call it an article, actually. It's I can't even call it an editorial either. I don't know what the Desert News, what they think half the time.
Was it a letter to the editor?
No, it's more of an essay with the title, Thanking God for the Things We Suffer.
Ew.
Yeah, I know, right? This used to be a reputable newspaper.
Oh,
yeah, okay. Their news section was always really good, but it's gone downhill. Anyways, thanking God for the things we suffer. And the first two lines say, I don't know how God does it. Seriously, I can't figure it out. And then he goes on and he tells us this whole thing about suffering and how there's so much to learn from it. But the example he uses is his daughter driving to Texas, I assume from Utah, to go to Thanksgiving with her husband's family. And he says somewhere along the way she picked up a bad chicken wrap. Okay. And it's just this is her suffering. Okay.
Oh,
this is her.
She had the shits for a week. Could have ruined
that long.
I know, right?
This is the suffering
seriously,
that God
between Waco and
this is not biblical.
No, but you know what? If we're looking for the big miracles, we're not going to see the little ones, like God sending us a bad chicken wrap.
Yeah. What was the dude who got all the sores in the Bible?
That Job?
Was that Job?
I don't know. Everything happened to Job.
Everything happened to Job. Well, apparently Job, he got a bad chicken wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like along on the list. Let's add that to it, right?
I think what God was trying to tell her, if I may be so bold as to interpret, is maybe lay off the truck stop food.
I think that's wise. Yeah.
So, it's sad that she had to learn it in that way. But, the Lord...
But she should be thankful.
...works in mysterious...
She should be thankful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, apparently, Beth and her husband, Brian...
B&B, as I like to call him.
Brian was just the best through the whole thing.
Oh,
and
that's
Brian
sweetheart.
took good care of her, held her hair over the toilet, all that stuff. And... She's quoted in here as saying that she has the sweetest, kindest, most wonderful husband in the world.
Oh.
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
And then, of course, that's not the only suffering that this poor fellow just has running all through his family.
So thankful for.
That he's choosing to be thankful for. They recently got a call from another daughter of theirs, Andrea, who was up late into the night with her son, Alexander. They thought he had the croup.
Oh,
croup?
no.
Is it croup?
That's a thing.
That's a thing,
no,
right?
The group? The croup.
I think it's croup.
Anyway. Yeah. Croup.
Coughing and la-di-da.
Oh, it's nasty.
It's awful. And, I don't wish that on the worst 15-month-old in the world.
But apparently God does.
God, well, he lets it happen. And,
no, he... If it was just him letting it happen, we wouldn't be thankful. We are all letting it happen.
Well, but Joseph Walker, the point of this whole thing is that he's grateful that God loves us enough to sit up there or out there, wherever there is, and watch us as we learn the important lessons life teaches us through the things that we suffer. So he's saying he doesn't intervene. He doesn't take this away from us.
God's not doing this to us. He's just sitting there watching, and we're also grateful because he's sitting there watching us suffer.
On his big HD TV in the sky. Yep.
What?
Yeah. No.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
That is what he's saying.
I'm so thankful because God's sitting there watching me puke my guts out.
This God who loves us so much, he won't intervene ever, apparently. I mean...
Well, no, he never intervenes.
What are the miracles? Like, why didn't God... Why is he so capricious about this? Why didn't he intervene on this time?
See, this is my problem. God has the cushiest position of all time. I mean, okay, aside from the whole being as, supernatural, omnipotent being, he's off the hook.
Yeah.
If your life is shit, it's either your fault or God's teaching you something.
Yeah.
If your life is awesome, then he gets all the credit.
Yeah.
Well, what the hell is that?
I don't know.
That's
I don't get it.
Bullshit.
I really don't get it. And
pulling the flag.
To be honest, I also don't want to say about Mr. Joseph Walker that he's making overall that his point is terrible, which is we do learn from the tough times in life.
Absolutely.
Or we can learn from the tough times in life.
And I think that's the key point. We don't always. No. And it's not always, and there are people who suffer needlessly. There's someone who gets some post-traumatic stress thing, and they never learn from it. They just become emotionally crippled permanently.
Yeah.
So I don't think we can say that suffering has inherent goodness.
No.
I think we can say that suffering can sometimes lead to good stuff.
Yeah.
Totally.
You can learn things about yourself. I
Totally.
think that's awesome. But, But egg salad or whatever, chicken salad, sandwich.
Honestly.
Or wrap or whatever it was. I mean, come on.
Forget it. And he can't come up with...
poor guy.
He can't come up with
poor,
better
miserable
suffering.
Life.
He doesn't have any suffering.
No.
That's the suffering he can find in his life.
Right. What about some cancer?
Somebody around him is dying.
Apparently not.
That guy is the luckiest guy alive. No wonder he's thankful for his suffering.
Thanking God for the things we barely suffer.
Thanking God for, ooh, my tummy hurts a little. Yeah.
Now,
Oh, I am suffering right now. Can
Yeah.
someone get me a Pepto?
No, yeah, it's true.
Oh, thank God.
It's true. It's true.
Thank God. Hey, I wanted to talk about this guy. There's this young upstart. I don't know if you've heard about him. He's a political candidate.
Is he? Who is he?
Newt Gingrich.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's apparently he's really getting some traction now.
Good. He deserves it.
But what he did in one of the debates recently, and who knows which one, because they've had, 50? 500?
It is remarkable. I will take my hat off to the Republicans about having a lot of debates.
Well, but nobody's listening anymore.
Well, okay.
No,
Maybe that's the point.
The point of each of these debates is try and get somebody to fuck up. Because nobody's watching them anymore. All they're doing is there's 4 reporters watching to wait for somebody to fuck up. And once somebody has their oops moment, then so literally all these guys are going to these debates and nobody's making any new points and nobody's doing anything but if you fuck up, if you can't think of one of your 3 things that you would cut from the budget or whatever,
then you're in trouble. Then there's a lot of press on that.
Right.
And we all run scared.
But if you come up with
because of that.
But if you come up with something brilliant and you say it and you don't fuck up with it, well, that's probably not going to get much press. Anyway, here's what Nudie said vis-a-vis Mr. Because, Mitt Romney's been embattled about his cult Mormonism.
Right. So we want to hear it?
Yeah. Play it.
Now, I happen to think that none of us should rush in judgment of others in the way in which they approach God. And I think that all of us up here, I believe, would agree. But I think all of us would also agree that there's a very central part of your faith in how you approach public life. And I, frankly, would be really worried if somebody assured me that nothing in their faith would affect their judgments, because then I'd wonder, where's your judgment? How can you have judgment if you have no faith? And how can I trust you with power if you don't pray? Who you pray to, how you come close to God is between you and God. But the notion that you're endowed by your Creator sets a certain boundary on what we mean by America.
We're not America, Frank.
No.
You and I.
Well, we definitely could not be trusted with, responsibility or anything that requires judgment.
Right. Although, speaking for myself, I will say I was definitely endowed by my Creator. I'm just going to put it out there. No? Don't judge me, Frank.
I'm just sitting here.
Yeah. No, I don't know. The whole, how can you have judgment if we...
It's pretty amazing.
And I don't care who you pray to. What is the game here? Is it like a... Is this like the advanced version of More Christian Than Thou? Because that's what they've been playing for a while. Is this like, I'm so Christian that I'll be accepting of non-Christians as long as they're praying to a God? That's how Christian I am? Or is this like a weirdly blanketed call out to the Jews and the Muslims?
Yeah, and that's what I would like to know. I'd like to know if he really would be saying that if there was a Muslim running.
It's an interesting question.
Would he be as bold to take that stance if it was somebody who is scary in some way, truly scary? Because we know Mormons aren't that scary.
No, well, what's scary? No, you know what? I disagree with you.
You do?
Yes, because here's what's scary about Mormons.
Okay,
we've both been there. We
Yeah.
both know that Mormons believe firmly that the guy sitting a few blocks from here is the prophet of God.
True.
And that his word is God's word on earth.
Right. But what is he going to say?
I assume nothing.
That's so terrifying.
I assume nothing. However, if they had a Mormon in the White House, I think it is a valid question to ask.
But wasn't that the
what if Tommy Monson says something?
Sure. But wasn't that something that they were saying about John F. Kennedy and the Pope?
Absolutely. But isn't that a valid question? Is my concern. I mean, we're taught to revere religion to the point of we can't ask these questions?
Well, right, yeah.
I think it's ridiculous. I think the fact that the man, a man that we're electing to the presidency, the man who's going to have his finger on the button, as it were,
yeah,
is does have someone that he answers to.
So Tommy Monson's going to call him up.
Could do.
And be like, you know what?
Guarantee you he would take that call. And he
would take the call, and guaranteed they're in touch.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Probably calling for counsel.
And
because if you could have the prophet... Now, here's the thing. If you could have the prophet's ear as a Mormon, I don't care what level, what echelon of Mormonism you have achieved, or a success in your own life you have achieved, you would love to sit in counsel with the prophet.
I don't know.
To have the prophet's ear.
I don't know.
And vice versa.
Here's why I say I don't know.
You don't think he would like that?
I think he might, but I think it could go the other way. I think it could also be that he would, suddenly he has the weight of the world on his shoulders. He's trying to run a country, and it would just complicate matters. Trying to bring that in because, frankly, religion can muddle things.
No,
So I'm saying, I sincerely doubt that religion has come into play that much when Mitt's making a big business decision.
Oh, no, guaranteed not, actually.
So I think he would be making too big of decisions to be worrying about religion. That's just a guess.
Right, but I'm saying more on the level of the prophet is there to just be a support. He's his ecclesiastical, peer
and
of
that's
sort.
fine.
Like they're, one's running a country, one's running a religion, so they're peers and they're members of the same faith.
That makes sense.
I think they would talk to each other.
I think so too. And all I'm saying is that Tommy Monson, if Mitt were president, or you know what? So I'm going to go a little more likely, not likely in the terms of him being president, but if Huntsman were president. And suddenly the question of a gay, a blanket equal marriage, legislation came to his desk, and Tommy Monson gave Huntsman a call and said, "Hey, veto this." Could happen.
He could make the call, but at that point, what if Huntsman says no?
Well, Huntsman would say no.
Huntsman would say, but what if when he says no, what happens?
Nothing. But what I'm saying is, what if it were Mitt, I would be a little more concerned that he would have to do what he was told.
Right.
His master's voice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyway, I think it's a valid concern. I don't necessarily know that it's a concern specifically with these guys. You know what I mean? Specifically with Mitt or specifically with Huntsman. I don't know that it is necessarily a concern, but it's a valid question to ask.
Again, it's the bigger question of what role should religion play, period, in our politics and in our system and
ask
in the
Newt.
decision making.
Newt knows.
Yeah.
Newt knows that
Prayer.
and if you're not praying, how could you possibly know anything?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because God forbid we should leave it to our own discernment.
Yeah. Well, this actually segues fairly well into the next little thing I have.
And yet you still insist on mentioning the segue instead of just smoothly doing it.
I'm just saying. People say that.
No, it's good.
It's in the vernacular.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Religious lobby. Okay, this is also from the Desert News. Religious lobbying is changing political focus, reads the headline.
Religious lobbying.
Religious lobbying is changing political focus. And then the subtitle? I'll call the thing right under it. Number of lobbies has grown from 40 to over 200.
Of religious lobbyists?
Religious lobbyists. Well, lobbies, yeah.
That's a lot.
Groups that are lobbying. I don't think it's just...
Does it mention who they are,
lobbyists.
what they are?
Well, what's interesting is that the article... Of course, this is written by a Desert News reporter, so to speak.
So they're very pro.
They see no inherent problem with the religious issue in it. So that's not really being questioned at all. And so what they're doing is, they're just like, well, one of the lines, faith-based lobbying groups don't necessarily fall into one political party or follow a certain ideological agenda, the study found.
Well, of course not.
They
need to go with everybody. Like if I'm lobbying, if I'm the Muslim, I want a ground zero mosque lobby.
Right.
I'm talking to everybody.
Well, that's true.
Oh, but
I think what he's saying,
what that's saying, yeah.
what the article is saying is that, you do actually have religious groups that are actually taking up what might be viewed as conservative issues and what might be viewed as liberal issues, and so I mean, it's to be honest, like it wasn't any grand surprise to me. I mean, we see our system, we see how everything's going.
Although that number is something.
The fact that just the growth
from 40 to 200,
40 to 200, and that's from the 1970s. 40 in the 1970s to 200 today.
That's huge. What's interesting is the concurrent. I'm going to pull up on my laptop here if I can find it. I've got the ARIS report.
Yeah, what's that?
That is the. What is it? Let's see. What does it stand for? It stands for the American Religious Identification Survey. They do it usually every 10 years, and it basically just surveys. It's the most reliable survey in terms of who's what in America, because it's not self-reported by the religions. And as we know, like for instance, the LDS Church reports 8-year-olds and dead people, and I mean, but anyways, it's a survey. It's a sort of sampling survey of Americans. They all are adults and they're self-reporting their religion.
Okay,
so it's probably the most accurate view of who's what in America. And over the course of, let's see, from 1990 to 2008, so obviously it's not every 10 years on the button.
Right.
The category of nuns, meaning not nuns like Catholic nuns, but nuns meaning us, people who
non-believers,
who report no religion or who report being atheist or agnostic.
Right.
In 1990, 14 million. No.
Nuns.
Yeah. Nuns, yeah. Okay. 14 million nuns. In 2008, 34 million nuns.
Wait. First, so 38 million was the second one?
34 million was the second one. 34. And the first one was 14.
Whoa!
So that's 19, almost 20 million.
It is 20 million.
20 million, yeah.
20 million new.
20 million, yeah. So the percentage growth on that is 138% growth.
Wow. Okay.
And to give you an idea, like Catholics grew by 24% in the same period.
Oh. How about Mormons? Does it have Mormons on there?
It doesn't list. Well, I mean, I could look at it. Let's see. Mormons are. There they are. So back in 1990, 2.4 million.
Oh, that's so different than their. I mean, of course, that's not their world number,
right?
But we know that typically in that era, half the Mormons in the world were in the United States,
right? And then
that's not even close to the number they were reporting back then.
No, and then in 2008 it was 3.1.
Oh, those little liars!
They're sneaky.
Oh my God, that's hysterical.
But I mean, when they report numbers, they report world numbers, and they got just Mexicans coming out of their ears.
What are they at? Like 13 million?
I don't know
at this point. I mean, it wasn't, but maybe a decade ago, right? When the Mormon population outside of the United States finally exceeded the population internally.
Right.
So, I mean, those numbers don't really jive. But that's no great surprise.
No.
Yeah. Interesting. No. Well, anyway. That is interesting, though, about us non-believers.
But yeah, but I guess my point is that it's interesting that concurrent to our numbers growing, the religious lobby is shooting through the roof.
Okay, I see. Yeah,
this is where I was going with this.
Yeah,
is
that's a really good point.
What's reacting to what at this point? I wonder.
Well,
it's hard to make it's hard to draw straight lines on this.
Yeah, yeah.
But it is an interesting point.
Well, I know that not that teenagers are typically the most religious group in the world, but I interact with a lot of teenagers with my job, and
That's disgusting, Frank.
Whatever. I have to say, when I first took the job, I thought I was going to have just, a ton of Mormon kids.
Right.
That it would be at least 50-50.
It's
right?
Utah.
It's Utah. I was just expecting that there would be a lot of Mormon kids. I rarely have, and God bless them, so to speak. But, they're great kids.
Sure.
The Mormon kids I've had. I'm not disparaging them. But even those kids, the experience that I've had, they're not religious like I remember being religious as a Mormon kid.
In fairness, your job doesn't necessarily draw the really religious kids.
Well, no, yeah, that's true. No, that's true.
So,
but anyway.
Hey, you want to hear about something from my other country?
Sure, yeah. What you got?
The country of my other birth.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. My mom's Canadian. Anyway, so in Canada, what has happened is that a judge has ruled the British Columbia, the province of British Columbia, their highest court, ruled that anti-polygamy laws only minimally impair religious freedom. So not enough to actually be a burden to them.
Interesting.
So that's a thing.
Yeah.
Although I got to get to the my personal feeling is, who the hell cares?
Yeah.
Marry a bunch of people as long as everyone's an adult and everyone's consenting.
But therein lies the problem.
Well, no, I think therein lies the problem. While polygamy is illegal, we can't police it. We can't patrol it because it's already underground.
Sure.
If we make it legal,
they're just all going to come bubbling to the surface.
Yeah.
All of Warren Jeff's people are just going to be like, "Oh, hey!"
It takes the air out of their whole thing. Suddenly they got to stay in. Suddenly, they'll want to be in the system because they want the benefits of the system.
Would they?
Wouldn't they?
I don't think. I saw a documentary not too long ago called Sons of Perdition.
Right.
And it's about these teenage boys in particular who leave Colorado City and the other one, the polygamist town right on the border between Utah and Arizona.
Right.
And they didn't know anything.
Right.
About anything. Like their exposure, they are so isolated and they are so kept apart from the world, and their attitudes about the outside world are so extreme. I don't think they'd want to participate at this point. I don't think they would come clean.
I just think that there are sort of rights and privileges associated with being engaged in society on an upfront, bold-faced level that they're missing out on. That they would go after in a heartbeat.
It's possible.
Anyway,
who knows? But I do have a funny story from this film.
Okay.
Can I tell this funny story from this film? One of this just shows how isolated these kids are. So this kid, he's like finally learning about the outside world and all this stuff.
Right.
He's talking about, sort of some of the new stuff that he's learned, and he's talking about World War II and that bad guy, Bill Clinton. He meant Hitler.
He actually mistook the name Bill Clinton for Hitler?
Yeah. It's amazing. It's this amazing moment. I was just like, jaw on the floor.
That is awesome.
Yeah. But that's the level to which these kids have no exposure to the outside world.
Wow.
None. They don't watch TV. They don't listen to popular music. Oh,
now and Bill Clinton was no fan of Jews, I can tell you. But no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
no, I'm sure he's a very big friend of the Jewish community.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. This is interesting.
Yeah. What do you got?
Well, I just kind of came across, this isn't, we've been doing news stories, and this is instead just some statistics that I found. Stats that I found on FBI.gov. These are crime stats.
Why have you been searching FBI.gov?
Well, I'm just curious. No, actually, it was a link to the thing and blah.
Were you self-Googling again?
I was self-Googling, and
you found
all of a sudden I found
FBI.
This. Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Anyhow, I thought this was interesting because it talks about, it breaks down hate crime statistics into the groups that are being hate crimed.
Okay.
And under religious bias, we have things like, so what this is, of all the religious biased, all the hate crimes motivated by religious bias,
right?
There were 1,409 offenses reported by law enforcement.
Okay.
In the year of 2010.
Right.
65.4% of those were anti-Jewish.
Okay.
13.2% were anti-Islamic.
So those we can expect.
Those we
Although
expect.
you'd think those would have flip-flopped by now.
Jewish, I'm actually surprised by that number, to be honest.
It seems like such a relic.
Yeah, it really does. It's
Haven't
surprising.
they learned that we're hating on Muslims yet? Come on. We've given up on Jews.
Yeah, we've accepted them. 9.5% were anti-other religion, i.e. those not specified. 4.3% were anti-Catholic, blah-de-hoody blah, all the way down to 0.5% were anti-atheism, agnosticism, etc.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
That is really interesting.
Now, I mean, if you crunch the numbers, that turns out to be 7 in the entire country that were reported as such.
7 reported hate crimes against atheists / agnostics.
Yeah, in 2010.
But what shocks me about this is you get all of that violence against Jews and Muslims, and yet the polls show that people would vote for a Jew or a Muslim before they'd vote for an atheist / agnostic. That
is interesting.
You know what it is?
What?
We don't wear funny clothes.
We need to stand out more.
If we stood out more, we would get our asses beat.
Let's not do that.
On occasion. Yeah,
actually, no, I think we do need to stand out more.
Well, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're doing a podcast just to stand out.
Right.
But we won't let you know
what's
what
our
we
last
look
names.
Like. You don't get to find out what we look like because you'll come and beat us up. You hate crimers.
Oh no, we'll have to put pictures up at that point. And then just because it was the next category down, it caught my eye: sexual orientation bias, and I was like, oh hey, I have a sexual orientation. And there were 1,470 hate crimes reported against or that fall under sexual orientation bias. And 1.4% were the result of an anti-heterosexual bias. Which,
ladies and gentlemen, I have to warn you, there are roving crowds of miscreant gays on the loose trying to beat you up because you're straight.
Yeah.
Please keep yourself safe.
That's like 21, though. 21, 22.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. That happened in this country against straight people.
Man,
watch out.
I know. There's some wild nights at some of those gay bars. And
when the time comes that I get violent against you, it's because you're heterosexual.
Are they reporting like nail scratches to the face? Bitch!
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. Anyways, I just thought that stuff was interesting.
Crazy.
I brought it up.
A little bit of crazy.
And, yeah.
Oh, hate crimes. I actually have a, what do they call it? A sexual preference bias myself.
Oh, do you?
I only have sex with straight women.
Oh. And that makes
it's just a bias myself that I have. I won't have sex with gay anybody.
Well, they will. Yeah. Half of them won't have sex with you.
Yeah, I know.
Half of them.
That's why. That's why I reject that half.
And of that other half, it's probably still not a lot.
Ouch.
Oh, Dan.
Oh, it hurts.
No, that's not
stings.
true, Dan.
It stings when you do that.
I know.
Those are my feelings.
Whatever.
Anyway.
Anyways. Yeah. Let's not make this awkward.
Yeah. You know what I'm thinking?
What?
Let's one of the topics of conversation that we were going to have.
Mm-hmm.
Let's save it for a week.
Okay, cool.
We're gonna. It's a teaser. I'm teasing.
Yo, hey,
how about
you
that?
feel teased out there?
Hey, everybody.
Ooh, hey.
So
those are ugly pants. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm teasing.
Yeah.
The audience. You all have.
You're wearing ugly. Everyone look down at your pants and feel
all
bad.
4 of you have bad pants. I'm just saying. All right.
Hey, have you seen any good movies or any bad movies? Have you seen any movies this week?
Boo. Yeah, I did.
What? Wow, I brought up the best topic, you guys, because he is stoked to talk right now. Awesome.
Oh, it was
what did you see?
So bad. It was. I hated this movie. I hated it.
Did you see Schindler's List again?
God, I hate that movie. No, I saw J. Edgar.
Oh,
and this might actually be surprising, I think, for a lot of people. It's the big homo movie at the of our day,
or the big intelligence movie.
Yeah. The everybody needs a good FBI movie.
Yeah,
and
right.
Boy, this is not a good FBI movie.
No,
it is all about the FBI
but it's
one
Clint
Mr.
Eastwood. We love our Clint Eastwood.
I know.
And he couldn't pull it off.
No. And it's that nice, Oh, what's his name? Who wrote Milk?
Oh, that Dustin Lance Black? Is that his name?
Dude, yeah, that's the one. And he did a knock-up job, or bang-up job with that one. I guess nobody got knocked up. Well, people got knocked up, but he did such a good job with that.
Yeah.
And then this one, with the gay J. Edgar, boy, it just bugged me.
Well, I'll tell you what bugged me about the trailer, and then
What's
you can
that?
tell me what bugged you about the actual film.
Okay.
Because all I saw was the trailer, but
Okay.
it looked to me like they were making that Leonardo DiCaprio. Did you see what I did there?
Yeah, it's
Switched-
pretty good.
Switched the vowel sound on it.
Yeah, it's good, dude.
It seemed like they put some old age makeup on the guy,
They did do,
and
yeah.
it looked crappy.
Yeah.
I can't buy him as his own age. He has that baby face.
Yeah, it's true.
It's hard to buy him as his own age,
Yeah.
let alone anything older.
Yeah.
Anyway, so tell me about it.
Well, okay. This is the first thing that I think I should probably say, which is for our listeners. You have to understand, I have a degree in film studies,
It's true.
and my note about J. Edgar right here says "big flaming piece of poop."
That's your studied opinion.
That's my yes, very much so. No, okay. So here's what I really disliked about the film, and I don't know. The reviews were mixed. Whatever.
Okay.
So I'm not alone in having a critique of this film. I really had a hard time with this. It sets up this guy who is the closet case to end all closet cases.
Right.
Okay. Which, as a gay man, I have no choice but to feel bad for him.
Sure.
I feel empathy.
Well, I think we could all feel empathy for
Right.
that. Nobody wants to live a life that isn't their life.
Exactly. So it's identifiable.
Right.
And I found myself identifying with one Mr. J. Edgar Hoover,
Sure.
who is someone I don't want to identify with. That's the first problem with this film.
Well, I mean, okay, I'm going to say this, not in defense of this film because I haven't seen it, but in general, it's much more interesting if you can if you're forced to identify with someone that isn't that's. I mean,
You know what, though?
the age of Superman is over.
Sure, but what's his name? You brought up Schindler's List.
Right.
Was that Jeffrey Fiennes or Ralph Fiennes?
That was Rafe.
Ralph? Rafe?
It's in Britain they pronounce it Rafe.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't know why.
They say the name Ralph Rafe?
Uh-huh.
Okay, anyways, that was Rafe Fiennes,
Right.
right? Played the deplorable head of that concentration camp.
Correct.
Amazing performance.
Beautiful.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
I didn't identify with him.
But he was not the hero of the movie.
No, he wasn't. You're absolutely right. But that's my point.
Yeah.
Is I don't think the hero of J. Edgar should have been J. Edgar Hoover.
Okay.
I think
It should have been Harvey Milk again?
I think it would have been better.
Milk 2.
Yeah. The return of milk. I return this milk. No, I think that the script is inherently flawed.
I don't doubt that.
I think
do you think Mr. Black
is
is lionizing J. Edgar?
No. See, that's the thing. I'm making it sound like, oh my, this film makes him look like he's such a fantastic guy, and it doesn't.
Okay.
In fact, it's very honest about what a poophead he was.
Right.
And it seems to be using, this whole closeted sexuality and repressed sexuality and fear of being found out as like, not a justification, but an explanation for his, behavior.
That seems pretty pat to me.
Yeah, right? Like, it just doesn't seem very complicated. It doesn't seem...
I could see those... It would be so much easier, so much better if they... If to use evolutionary lingo, if they descend... If we talked about these two things, this closeted nature and his craziness, his bullshitness, as being descendants from a common ancestor. You know what I mean? A common emotional ancestor within him. Meaning they both stem from the same tree.
Oh. Well, let me think about that, because there's this whole weird relationship with his mother.
Oh.
So,
okay. So maybe they're doing that.
Maybe they are doing that a little bit. But again,
but
it was
mother
such a mother thing with
really?
With overbearing mother. And I mean, it was the classic case.
You would think
I would much rather have seen, because I also rewatched Downfall the other night, which is the Hitler film.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The Bill Clinton film?
The Bill Clinton film. And it's all in German. It's just subtitled. It's fantastic. If you haven't seen it, pull it up on Netflix. It's on there right now.
Es ist eine gute Film.
Ach ja. But you never once look at it and go, oh, that Hitler. I can really see where he's coming from.
Right.
Because it's told through even though there are plenty of scenes without her, but it's the perspective that we have is of a young secretary who's observing this, who was there for the last days of Hitler.
Okay.
In the bunker with him. She was loyal to him as a human being. And they have this wonderful interview at the beginning of the film, and at the end it's of this Trudel, whatever her name was, talking about, how she shouldn't be left off the hook, that she should have known.
Right.
I mean, it's just, oh my God, it's like incredible. And then they go into this fictionalized.
I'm shocked,
history.
Actually. I'm going back to something. I'm shocked that Dustin Lance Black, who is seemingly, I mean, he's obviously gay.
Yeah.
We've both met him.
I actually have never met him.
Oh, I met him once.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's gay. He's modern gay. He's young.
Yeah.
He should be, I mean, honestly, for him to go for the complicated mother relationship thing. Oh my
God, it just seems too weird.
That's so bizarre to me.
It does. Yeah.
Can I give my studied opinion about this film? Now, Frank's studies were in film studies. My studies were in acting. And I just want to point out that if you ever look at posters or still photos of Leonardo DiCaprio, you can tell how hard he's acting by how deep the furrows are between his eyebrows.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at a poster of J. Edgar, and he's acting hard.
He is acting hard.
Because it's like you could drop a nickel in that crevice between his eyebrows.
And you brought up the makeup earlier.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my God. Okay, so, Leonardo's makeup, heavy, obvious that it was there.
Right.
But good.
Okay.
It was good. It was good makeup. Okay?
I say if it's obvious that it's there, it's not that good.
Well,
that's my feeling.
But it wasn't bending in weird ways.
Okay.
You could tell that it was there because it's Leonardo's voice coming out.
Right. It looked like the edges were puckering a little bit or something.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, on the latex or something.
But
in general, you felt okay about it.
Especially in comparison to Armie Hammer, the guy who played his little buddy.
Oh.
When they aged that poor guy, oh my God. First of all, he didn't it was just problematic all around. And so I had a problem with that. And, like,
Judi Dench?
Yeah.
Played who? His mother?
Yeah. Fantastic, actually.
Oh, my God. I love Judi Dench.
Yeah.
I'll see it just for her.
Yeah. Yeah, that's me and Meryl Streep.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So that's me with this movie. I did not care for it.
I'm sorry about
all.
that. All right.
Lame-o.
We're giving it 2 thumbs down, 1 sight unseen.
Yeah. Okay, we're good.
Oh, except that we can't do thumbs.
No, you can't. That's actually trademarked.
Yeah. Then we're
2 index fingers down. I bet they've actually copyrighted all of them. They just have them sitting.
I say index fingers are fair game.
2 pinkies down.
Pinkies down. Boo.
Dan's index fingers down, and my pinky is down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's my review. Dan.
Yeah?
What are you thankful for?
I have thanks in my heart. Yeah, sure. I'm thankful for things. I am thankful that last week is over.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, my father passed away recently, so I get to be done planning a funeral and putting that together.
Yeah.
So
I can't imagine.
Well, yeah.
Well, good. That's a good thing to be thankful for.
And I'm thankful for those family members that remain.
Ah, that's nice.
Yeah,
that's
How
good.
about you? Got some thanks?
I've got some thanks. I think I'm thankful. I'm thankful for, like, it's kind of funny, but I'm thankful for my job.
No,
I've got a good job.
In this economy, are you kidding me? That's something to be thankful for.
I've got a good job. I mean, the pay's all right. The pay's not great. It's not, it's a little arts place, but it's stable and it's good and I like it. I like the job.
That's the amazing part.
But that just kind of leaves. I always just have this weird reaction. I think though when because the Thanksgiving is like giving thanks to God, right? I mean that's the root of it, and so there's this whole weird thing like when people talk around the table, they go around the table and they're like, "Okay, everybody say something that they're thankful for."
Right.
We've all been at that family Thanksgiving, or maybe not, but and it's just this idea that I wrestle with because I want to be thankful without feeling like I'm holding on to some antiquated, or not antiquated, but some remnant of my religious upbringing.
A vestigial organ.
Yes. And I really, I really want that. And I don't feel like I have it. I feel like there's times when these values that I was raised with still kind of come bubbling up in the way that they were designed to bubble up, the way that they were taught to me.
They come up with the labels that you were given for them.
Yeah.
I agree. I understand that.
The connection to God that they have, like the idea of forgiveness.
Sure.
Right. We actually had somebody come into work last year, 2 years ago. Her name's Carla Kelly. She's fantastic. And she came in and she did this training with us that was about what she calls secular forgiveness.
Okay.
And it was really interesting, and it was really also kind of weird because all of the people who grew up in Utah, which is about half the staff, or who were raised Mormon,
right?
We all were like, "Oh my God, this is so profound! This is amazing!" And the people who grew up outside of Utah and weren't raised Mormon were all like, "Well, yeah,
duh."
And it's like, I'm like, "Oh my God, is this just one more stupid, like, my Mormon upbringing was so frickin' religious that everything in my existence was somehow spun through Mormonism,
right?
And spun through religiosity and spun through God,
right?
And it's this strange thing, and it's really weird when it rears its head.
It's a total, you're reprogramming completely.
Thanksgiving. It's my favorite because it's the one we all get to share.
Right.
It doesn't matter what
your religion
or non-religion is. You know?
Yeah.
We all get it. If you're American on this day, we all are we're all with our families or
Right.
with our loved ones.
We're
Hopefully,
nothing's
we're with
being
them.
asked of us. It's just a time for us to share.
Yeah, it's not
Gratitude.
Christmas. It's not,
It's not
Hanukkah.
the 4th of
It's not-
July.
It's not the 4th of July, which has all of that, patriotism layered in. Although I've purged myself of that. I'm fine.
You're
I'm
not a
fine.
patriot.
Well, I like the country. It's okay. Yeah. I mean,
But it's not. It's
I'm
not.
gonna-
It's not a religious
I'm not
thing
going
of you
to fight to
like.
bring down the government.
No, of
just
course
because I'm
not.
not uber patriotic.
No, of course not.
And I'm not going to whatever. I feel like we've.
I think it's more patriotic, by the way, to question your government in this country.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
but you're right. Thanksgiving is great, and I hope everyone can find some happy things to be thankful for.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for my friends.
Yeah.
I'm
I am
thankful for
too.
you, Frank.
I'm thankful for you, Dan.
Sweet.
Awesome. Well, that's it. That's the end.
We'll wrap it up on that note. That's a lovely note to wrap it up on.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.